That's right, guys. Today we are teaching you how to make Mayhaw Jelly from my neighbor who gave us a whole bunch of free Mayhaws. And disclaimer, I've never made jelly before. Get that. I've never made jelly. And we're going to make jelly. So you're learning along with me. Come on for the ride. Okay, so I've dumped the berries the first time and we've gotten a good bit of super pretty pink yummy juice that smells amazing. But like my neighbor said, we are going to strain them and squeeze them and get all the yuck out because as you can see, that's not cool. And there's tons of them in here. I've already kind of scooped them out a couple times. When I rinsed them the first time, I saw bugs. When I boiled them, I saw bugs. When I dumped the boiled juice, I saw bugs. I'm seeing less and less. But I think I'm catching on to why my neighbor said you definitely want to strain and get all the yuck out before you get that yummy pink juice for the Mayhaw jelly. So I don't have a free cheesecloth at the time. So I'm using some really thin like cotton fabric that I use for baking bread sometimes. So I'm putting it over the pot and I'm going to stick these berries in there and I'm going to, hi Levi, you tearing up my blender. Cool. I'm going to strain them again. So I was able to strain out probably another cup and a half from the cheesecloth. And then I looked over into the juice that I'd already strained and I was like, I kind of see some yuck. So I went through my flour sifter, which is like the smallest grain filter, I guess, that I have. And I got more goodness. So I'm going to strain it a couple more times using this and I think we'll be good to go. And if this totally turns you off, then Mayhaw jelly making is probably not for you. But as you know, this comes from nature. And these guys are from nature. And they want this goodness just like we do. So don't be so turned off. You probably eat bugs in your raisins all the time. So yeah. Okay, it's jelly making day. I have made my Mayhaw juice from the Mayhaw berries, or whatever you call them, from my neighbor. And today we're going to use that juice and make Mayhaw jelly. So I went to Walmart, super easy supplies. I went and got a double pack because I have a lot of juice and a whole bunch of these bad boys. And we're going to turn that juice with the sugar and the pectin and we're going to turn it into some yummy jelly. We're probably going to have tons of it, so I'm thinking I might save some for like Christmas gifts or who knows, just little gifts that I can give people throughout the next several months or a year. look at this craziness. So the recipe says to let it boil for 1 solid minute, even to the point like if I stir it, it's still gonna boil. So that's what we're doing. It almost like boiled completely out of the pot. It looks like a pink monster trying to escape. So I'm gonna let it keep doing its thing. It's all those sugars being wild in there. It's kind of like what my kids look like when they eat sugar. So yeah. So I'm pretty excited. This is starting to look like jelly. It made 6 half-pint jars following this recipe. So I totally have enough of ingredients and jars that I'm gonna do a whole nother batch because my neighbor gave me a ton of mayhaw berries, and I wanna go ahead and just do it while I'm already in the kitchen, right? So I'm about to put the lids on these guys, screw them down, and then pop them in the pot of water that I already have going. So I'm going to do like a water bath, and I think the recipe says process it for 5 minutes in boiling water. And what's going to happen in that process is it's going to seal those lids down and turn it to jelly, I guess. I don't really know the scientific facts for all that good stuff. Okay, I just did my second batch of Mayhaw Jelly, and I'm putting these guys in. Some fun fact, okay, so, these are super hot. So before I put them in, there's like this button on the top that when I pulled out my first batch, I'm sitting here filling my second, and I'm like, what is that noise? I keep hearing like this like sound, and I guess that's the way that they seal themselves after they're starting to cool down. So maybe I did it right. I don't know. You guys, if you've done jelly before, leave me a comment. What is your favorite jelly to make? Do you make Mayhaw jelly? Am I doing something wrong here, or do you have any tips for this beginner? This is totally new to me. I've canned pickles before, I've canned okra before, but I've never canned jelly before, and so this is totally new for me. If I'm messing up, tell me. I can learn from it. And if you think I'm doing a great job, then give me a like. I don't know. Do you like on YouTube, or is that Facebook? I don't know. But let's put this second batch in the hot water that's still boiling over here and see how our jelly comes out when we test it by pressing the tops. My jelly to see if it processed correctly, and the recipe that I'm following says that I just press that little center button on the top of the lid, and if it stays compressed, then we're good to go. But if it comes back up and pops, then I need to consume it right away, like within the next week, or I need to try and reprocess it. So I'm over here testing out my jellies. Oh, I almost knocked one down. Okay, so this one's good. It's not coming back up after I press it. Okay, so I'm seeing all of these are good. This guy a second ago did come back up. So I'm gonna kind of keep an eye on this. Maybe it wasn't like popped yet, or I don't know the terminology for this, but I'm gonna keep an eye on this guy. And if it does come back up, then this is the lucky volunteer that gets to be consumed this week in the DePhillips house. So we shall see. But I would like to point out, look how lovely my jellies look. I think they're lovely. They're nice and bright and pretty. I think it goes perfectly along with spring. Okay, there you have it. We made Mayhaw jelly, and this is coming from someone who has no experience of ever making jelly. So as you can see, literally, if I can do it, then you can do it. So I encourage you to give it a try. If you have a neighbor as awesome as mine, just giving away free Mayhaw Jelly or Mayhaw berries, then give it a go. Why not? What's the worst that will happen? You just learn something and you can try again next time, right? Well, thankfully, I did it right this time. But this guy has volunteered to be eaten today because his button did not stay compressed. So that means I had 1 out of 12 not processed correctly. And that's okay because honestly, I wanted to try one out today anyways. And this just reminds me of so many times I'll learn how to make something or I'll do something from scratch and I'll hear somebody say, or one of my kids say, "Why are you doing that? I could so easily just go to the store." Yes, you're right. I could totally just go to the store and buy jelly. Or I could go to a farmer's market and find somebody who already knows what they're doing and who already makes this stuff and spend $5 to $10 for some jelly. But I really enjoy the whole process of learning things. I want to learn how to do things. I think of the proverb from Solomon. It says, "Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth." So that could be easy to say like, "Oh, Katie, you're really not going to make a whole lot of money selling your Mayhaw Jelly, especially if it's your first time ever making it." But wealth here for me is knowledge and wisdom. I want that knowledge. I want that wisdom. And I'm not calling you lazy if you go out and buy your jelly. By all means, if you want to buy your jelly, go for it. But if you are encouraged by this video and you want to learn how to make things on your own and have that pride in saying, "I did that despite messing up, despite not knowing what I'm doing," then I encourage you to right now subscribe to Humbled Roots and join me on more adventures in the kitchen, in the garden, and in the schoolroom so that we can learn together, because that's what we did today. I had no idea going into this. I got a message from my neighbor saying, "Hey, you want to make Mayhaw Jelly?" And I literally said, "Sure, I'll give it a try." I encourage you to do the same. All right, guys, I'll see you later.